What's going on, guys? Keenan Clark here from Remodel Favor. And in this video, I wanted to go over if you're a home remodeler or residential general contractor and you're kind of looking to start generating your own exclusive qualified leads and maybe kind of escape the third-party lead vendors. Starting out, should you choose Facebook ads or should you choose Google ads for your marketing and advertising? So the goal for this video is to really give you as much information as you need to make the best decision on which platform to use, give you some pros and cons, kind of show you what our data's been like, especially after spending multiple 6 and 7 figures on each platform, and across multiple locations from Boston to the Pacific Northwest. We kind of know what's working and we see some definitive market trends. So I hope this video will be helpful for you and we'll kind of just get right into it. So just for some context, these are 2 screenshots. One of them is for a Google Ads campaign for a remodeler out in Boston. This is actually still running. And you'll see right here, 2.3K spent. We've gotten 462 clicks for 36 total leads, which comes out to about $64 per lead. All right. That's very good for Google. And oftentimes you'll see Google leads are going to be a lot more expensive than $64. I mean, we're talking, if you're under 200, that's relatively good, but you'll see anywhere from $60 to $175 on Google. It's just going to be more expensive, and we'll kind of get into that later. Now, as for the second screenshot, you'll see right here, this is a Facebook ads campaign that we're running for a remodeler out in Orlando. All right. And you'll see this is actually still running to this day. And we've gotten 333 leads for an average lead cost of $31. So the trend with Facebook is a lot more lead volume for a lower cost, right? And both of these campaigns have generated these guys multiple projects and they've made a lot of money off them. So that just kind of goes to show we have lots of data in, what I'm actually talking about. So let's go into Google. First off, what is the Google advertising platform? All right. So Google is obviously a search engine platform. And how they bill you is you only pay per click. So you only pay when somebody actually clicks on your ad. Now, it sounds good, but depending on what area you're in, how high the competition is, kind of what keywords that you want to go after, those clicks are going to be very expensive. And so first, we'll get into kind of the pros of Google. So the very first one is a low barrier to entry. Really what I mean by that is anybody can start up a Google ad campaign relatively easy. It would probably just take a 10-minute YouTube tutorial. And any sort of contractor could spin up a Google ad campaign, whether that be local services ads. Well, with those, you do have to get your license verified. But with Google, they came out with this new thing. It's called Smart Campaigns, which essentially they take care of most of the campaign creation for you. You kind of let Google have the autopilot. And within a couple of minutes, you're advertising on Google. Now, are those campaigns going to be the best performing? Probably not, because something to take into account is while these platforms do want you to make money off their platform, so you'll continue to spend, especially with Google, is you'll find that, there are only so many people in your area who are actively looking for remodeling or renovation solutions. And so they're also incentivized to really make the most out of your budget. You set a daily budget of maybe $50 a day. They're going to try their hardest to really spend that much per day, no matter kind of what people are searching for. So with Google, there's a very low barrier to entry. And I'm sure if you searched up bathroom or kitchen contractor near me, there are probably 5 businesses in your area right now who are running ads on Google, whether that be from an agency or they're doing it themselves. Now, another pro of Google is it is very intent-based. It's an intent-based search platform, which means your ads are going in front of people who are actually searching for kitchen remodeling, ADU builder, room addition, bathroom remodeling, any sort of that stuff. And so you're going after the people who are actively searching for a solution to their problem. Now, with intent-based, especially with remodeling where it tends to have more design complexity, it tends to be a longer sales process. When they go to Google and search up maybe bathroom remodeling, does that mean that they're going to become a lead right then and there? Oftentimes not. With especially intent-based platforms like Google, you'll find that the reason why plumbers or pest control companies perform so well on there and why they invest so much money into it is because that is like an instant problem that needs to be taken care of. Or like a handyman, for example. If you have a leak in your sink, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Google, you're going to call up a handyman, and they're going to come out and fix it for you. It's very intent based. Now, if somebody's looking up an ADU, for example, a lot of times they might not have the most commercial intent. They might be looking for photos, ideas, what it's going to cost, or reputable companies. But even if they do have the commercial intent, it doesn't mean that they're going to become a lead right then and there. So with the intent-based platform, oftentimes, especially with agencies that really kind of prefer to do Google, they really stress on the intent-based aspect to the Google platform. But the thing that they leave out is that's not the whole story. With Google, it's perfect for companies who really can provide a solution to a very fast problem. But maybe for a remodeling company or a design build company, maybe not all those leads are really going to be so much intent-based. Now, another pro of Google is, and you'll hear this a lot, the quality of leads. And so you'll see right here in the screenshot, the lead cost was higher. We've got fewer leads, also less spent, but that goes besides the point. You'll see here, there are fewer leads, but oftentimes the quality is going to be really good. And now the reason for that is, of course, intent-based. But oftentimes they're at the very bottom of the funnel. They already figured out that they will want to do it, what area they want to remodel, what it's going to look like, if they can afford it. And now they're just really looking for somebody to actually build the thing, right? And so you'll find that the quality of leads are much better. There's probably a faster sales cycle, all right? So they'll kind of be ready to buy right now. And so like, for example, one of our guys, Kevin, he actually closed a $290K project just from Google. Somebody called him up, they were ready, they came from the ad, and he was able to close them relatively quickly, right? That's one example of the quality. Now, with the quality, it'll kind of go into one of the cons, but the quality for Google, some of it's actually a myth because a lot of times you'll run into handyman leads, especially if you're a design build company. Maybe you're looking for a project that's nothing under 80K or maybe nothing under 25K. For example, maybe for like a simple bathroom remodel. Well, a lot of times these people, they'll call you up and it'll say it's a lead on the platform. It gets marked as a lead, but in reality, they were looking for like a doorknob replacement or something like that. And I've heard from many GCs out there that Google, it gets the phone ringing, but oftentimes the solution that the lead needs is really not what the contractor's looking to do. That's not kind of the advertising services that they want to go after. They're getting plumbing jobs, maybe HVAC jobs, maybe door replacements, kind of these small handyman stuff when they really want to go after the bigger ticket stuff. All right. So that's another con with Google. And then another one is it's the same as it's a pro, low barrier to entry. You can get Google campaigns up relatively easy. It's also a con because with more competition, the keywords are going to be more expensive. It's going to be harder to rank number one on your ad, especially with companies who have those big advertising budgets. And so what happens is your cost of advertising increases to where, it might get to the point where you face diminishing returns. And so with lower barrier to entry, higher competition. And like I said earlier, you can probably find multiple companies in your area running Google ads right now. Now, another con with Google is you're going to run into less quantity. So for example, like Facebook and Instagram, we generate a lot of leads quantity wise. And so with all those leads that you're bringing in, the chances of you closing at least one, it just increases with every lead that comes in. Now with Google, there is going to be a lot less of them. Now, another con that really comes with Google advertising is you're really only advertising to around maybe 3% of the market. And so you're only putting your name out there to people who obviously have some sort of problem that they're looking for a solution. They're wondering who can they trust to do the project or who's a builder that can actually do the job. Now, the problem with that is you're only capturing a small 3% of the market. There's very limited supply and you're forgetting about everybody who's maybe in the middle or the very top part of the funnel. The people who are asking themselves, what's the design going to look like? Can I afford this? Or what's it going to cost? Or what area of my home do I want to remodel? You're missing out on those people. And so with the 3%, also everybody in your area is probably marketing to those same people. And so you miss out on the rest of the market. And you're only advertising that small limited supply where oftentimes you can find people competing on price and eventually just, it's a race to the bottom at that point. And you're also not really building a brand either. And then really the last few cons of Google is, of course, it's easier to scale. Once you find something that's working, it really doesn't need a whole lot of maintenance. You just have to make sure If anybody's searching up weird stuff and your ad is popping up, you just make sure you have to fix that, like job opportunities, for example, or how-tos or do it yourself. We put negative keywords. And so if anybody searches something that's in the realm of that, our ad just doesn't pop up. We're not wasting any money. All right. Now, really the last thing is, and this is a huge problem with Google because you really just open yourself up to the internet, is robots, all those spam calls. And with Google, we can't really do much other than block the number. But of course, the spammers, they just get new numbers and they keep calling. And sometimes it can be hard to differentiate who's a spammer and who actually needs a proper service. All right. And that's another problem with Google. Just the spam is out of control and it's crazy. And also another thing is like job hunters. Just like I mentioned with negative keywords, we exclude anybody who's looking for a job or some sort of opportunity or kind of just looking for work. But at the same time, a lot of these people will search up home remodeling company near me. Now, that could go two ways. More times than not, it is going to be a client who actually wants to speak to you about a service that they need. But a few times as well, it might happen that it's a person who's just looking for a job, right? And it's unfortunate because that costs you money. And now you have to appeal to Google and be like, hey, this was not a proper click. And it becomes a long process. And that's just how it goes sometimes. Now, getting into kind of the pros of Facebook. Facebook is a lot higher barrier to entry. I guarantee you that there aren't as many remodeling companies in your area who are advertising on Meta or Facebook and Instagram as there are on Google. It's definitely harder to get started advertising here. And another reason is because everybody does it so wrong, all right? They make their ads look like ads and in turn, nobody's interested because, what Facebook is it's a social media platform, right? When you put an ad up there, you're actively interrupting somebody's feed. Now, it doesn't mean that interruption is going to be something that's completely unrelated to what they're interested in. If maybe you've been interested in a product or you've thought about buying something and then you see an ad just pop up, a lot of times that's a good thing, especially their AI algorithm is really good now to where they know exactly what ads that you're going to resonate with the most. Now, another pro with Facebook and Instagram is we can actually get more data on the client. So what I mean by that is with Google, oftentimes the customers are just going to call you, which that's totally fine. But with Facebook and Instagram, for example, we like to run ads where it's an addition estimator or a kitchen calculator where they can answer a few questions on what they would like done with their project. And they kind of get a ballpark accurate quote of what that project would actually cost them. Now, the great thing is we can get a lot more than just name, email, phone number. We get if they're authorized to make changes, obviously the scope of their project, the timeline of the project, and if the budget is actually going to work with them before we even speak to them. And, if that budget works with them, well, when we go to call them, the conversation and really the whole call is going to be a whole lot easier to deal with. And then a couple of other good things is I kind of went over it, but of course, less competition. You're not paying per click. You're paying however much it costs for 1,000 people to see your ad. So usually what we see is that's anywhere from $20 to $50 for 1,000 people to see your ad, which is pretty good. Especially Facebook is we can get very detailed with the targeting, especially like the zip codes, targeting only the top 25% of income to make sure nobody who is not going to be the ideal client is really going to see our ad. Now, that's not to say maybe somebody is traveling or somebody has a job in one of those zip codes and they're going to see your ad, but it tends to get better results. Another pro with Google is the quantity of leads, which I already showed you. We get a whole bunch, and also brand building, because while at the same time you're advertising and getting leads in, you're getting leads, you're converting them into appointments, and then those appointments into contracts, but you're also building a brand. But if say you're spending $50 a day and it costs $50, that's like the most for 1,000 people to see your ad. Well, that's 1,000 people every single day who are seeing your company. And what that does actually is it increases word of mouth. Oftentimes, you'll have referrals come in. And what I mean by referrals is maybe somebody might be a little bit more skeptical. And so they'll kind of comment down in the ad like, hey, has anybody used this company? And one of the company's previous clients will actually reach out in the comment section and provide an amazing review. So it definitely helps build the brand, kind of build that local authority presence in the area with that platform. All right. Now, some of the cons with Facebook is it tends to be harder to scale. Now, what I mean by that is once you have an ad that's performing and it's doing really great, the problem is it's not really going to last forever. Whereas Google, it's not going to last forever, but it has the potential to last multiple years on. Now, with Facebook, you do have to update them. You have to change maybe the offer, the ad copy, the creative. So like what's the image? Maybe you have to get a new video. And so oftentimes you have to make more updates to the ads. And now another one is like sometimes people complain about the quality. And the reason why a lot of people deal with a quality issue with Facebook is because they use something that's called Facebook Instant Forms, which those are forms you can set up on your ad. So instead of taking them to your website or a landing page, they can fill out their contact information and other questions natively inside the platform. Now, what that does is they click it and Facebook, they signed up to the platform. So they already have their personal information, the name, email, phone number. And so Facebook actually pre-fills that out for them and they can click submit and technically they become a lead. So in essence, they can become a lead within 2 clicks, right? Which sounds amazing, very seamless, very hands-off, efficient, fast. But the problem is there's no friction there with becoming a lead. So if it only takes them really 2 clicks to become a lead, and also that information might be outdated. Maybe they signed up in Facebook in 2013 and now they have a different email. Well, that information might be wrong. It might not be the correct phone number or email that they have. And so with that all together, no wonder a lot of people complain about the quality of their leads because they're sending them to these instant forms where instead what we like to do and really the best people who do advertising on Facebook do is they send them to a landing page and they also get more than just name, email, phone number. They actually get people who have a little bit of intent themselves with whatever project that they want to do. All right. Now, another con with Facebook is like the unpredictability with targeting. And this is something that's frustrating sometimes, but like, for example, we had a client in Orange County and they do kitchens and baths remodels. And for about 8 months, we had their campaigns going. It was going amazing. We were getting very big ticket projects coming in. They're making a great ROI. And then all of a sudden, 1 month, it just started targeting people who had like water damage, or they were looking for like an insurance claim. Maybe there was some sort of restoration job. Now, they were completely fine with that because they still made money off that. But it just goes to show sometimes all of a sudden we're getting kitchen and bath remodel leads. And then 1 month out of nowhere, we're just getting a bunch of water damage leads. So in summary, really, should you go with Google ads or should you go with Facebook ads? And this is what I would recommend to any remodeler or GC out there who's thinking about marketing. If you can, I would put $50 a day into Facebook ads. And so that'll show on Facebook and Instagram. And these ads will capture more of the 97% of people, the people who are thinking what it would look like or what it's going to cost. Or maybe they see your ad and they say, hey, that's like a nice project photo of a kitchen, or that's a nice before and after. I've been wanting to remodel the kitchen for quite some time. Let me hit them up. So the Facebook and Instagram, that'll really capture that percentage of the population. And I'll put $50 a day into that. And usually we see with $50 a day, that's more than enough to make your ROI. For example, we had Bob from Maestro. He's actually here in Dallas, Fort Worth. He put $50 a day, and his first month, he had 11 booked estimates on the calendar. And out of that 11, he's closed 3 so far. And there's another one in the pipeline. She's just taking forever with the design. So that's like one example. Within 1 month, just from Meta alone, he was able to close 3 projects. And then I would also, if it's possible, I would also put another $50 a day into Google advertising. And this is really to capture the people who are at the bottom of the funnel. They're in that 3%. They're ready to buy right now. And that way you're covering all areas of the market, the people who are actively searching for you and the people who might be lurking. They've been thinking about doing it, but they just really haven't pulled the trigger yet to contact somebody to really start the process. Because what I believe the worst thing that you can do when you're advertising your remodeling business is really just go after one segment of the market. And so instead, what I recommend is to go after all segments of the market. And that's what really, we do here at Remodel Favor. We do both meta advertising and also Google advertising. It really just depends on the area, what the goal is, kind of what projects that you want to go after. All right. So I hope this video was helpful. Hope you got some value out of it and you got all the info you need when it comes to which platform you should pick. So please make sure to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And also, if you're a licensed general contractor capable of building kitchens, bathrooms, whole home renovations, additions, ADUs, all that stuff, and you want us to help you secure more of that, using the systems that I've mentioned in my previous videos, then there's also a link to kind of check out what we got going on over here. So other than that, I'll see you on the next video.